Today, we will explore the roots of this fascinating culture that thrived in Scandinavia. The Norse, often referred to as Vikings, are known for their seafaring skills, mythology, and impact on Europe. Our exploration will cover their early history, societal structure, and contributions. Let's embark on this voyage through time to understand what shaped the Norse civilization. We will delve into their daily lives, beliefs, and the geographical challenges they faced. Their resilience and resourcefulness in overcoming these challenges are truly remarkable. Additionally, we will see how their legacy continues to influence modern culture. By the end of our session, I hope you will have a deep appreciation for the Norse civilization's rich history and enduring impact. The beginnings of Norse civilization trace back to the prehistoric era in Scandinavia. This region includes modern-day Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Archaeological evidence suggests human settlement in Scandinavia as early as 12,000 BCE. These early inhabitants were hunter-gatherers who gradually transitioned to farming. This shift laid the groundwork for the complex societies that would later emerge. The harsh Scandinavian climate necessitated innovative survival strategies. Early settlers adapted to their environment by developing tools and techniques suited to their needs. Seasonal migrations were common as people followed animal herds. Over time, these nomadic lifestyles gave way to more permanent settlements. This gradual change marked the beginning of a settled and agricultural way of life. By the late Neolithic period, around 4000 BCE, agriculture was well established. The people began to domesticate animals and cultivate crops. This agricultural revolution led to more stable food supplies and population growth. Settlements became larger and more permanent. This period also saw the beginning of trade with neighboring regions. As agriculture flourished, surplus production allowed for trade and specialization. Communities could exchange goods and services, fostering economic interdependence. This economic stability supported the development of social hierarchies. Leaders and chieftains emerged to manage resources and mediate conflicts. The foundations for a more organized society were thus established. The Bronze Age, starting around 2000 BCE, marked significant advancements for the Norse. Metallurgy introduced new tools and weapons, enhancing agricultural productivity and warfare capabilities. Trade networks expanded, reaching as far as Central Europe. The exchange of goods and ideas helped develop Norse culture. Artifacts from this period show a society increasingly skilled in craftsmanship. The introduction of bronze also led to artistic developments. Jewelry, weapons, and ceremonial items were crafted with great skill. These artifacts reflect a society that valued both function and beauty. The Bronze Age also saw the construction of large burial mounds and other monumental structures. These structures indicated a belief in an afterlife and a desire to honor the dead. By the Iron Age, around 500 BCE, Norse society had become more complex. Iron tools and weapons were more durable and efficient than their bronze counterparts. This era saw the emergence of distinct social classes. Warriors, farmers, and craftsmen formed the backbone of the community. This social stratification laid the foundation for future Viking society. Iron also revolutionized agricultural practices, leading to more productive farming. This increased productivity supported population growth and urbanization. Villages and towns began to form, with local markets becoming centers of trade. The rise of fortified settlements indicated growing concerns over security and defense. These changes paved the way for the political and military structures of the Viking Age. The early Iron Age also witnessed significant cultural and religious developments. Norse mythology began to take shape, with gods like Odin and Thor entering the cultural consciousness. These deities reflected the values and experiences of the Norse people. Religious practices were closely tied to the natural world and seasonal cycles. This spirituality would remain a cornerstone of Norse identity. Rituals and festivals celebrated important agricultural and life events. The Norse also believed in a multitude of spirits and ancestors who influenced their lives. This belief system fostered a deep respect for nature and the land. Sacred sites, such as groves and springs, were integral to their religious practices. These early religious traditions would later be elaborated in Norse mythology. The Roman era, around the first few centuries CE, influenced Norse civilization through trade and conflict. Roman goods and coins found in Scandinavian sites indicate active trade routes. The Roman Empire's reach brought new technologies and ideas to the Norse. However, direct Roman influence was limited, and Norse culture remained distinct. This period set the stage for the later Viking Age. The Norse adopted and adapted Roman innovations that suited their needs. For example, Roman ironworking techniques improved Norse metallurgy. Trade with the Romans also introduced new luxury goods and materials. Despite these exchanges, the Norse maintained their cultural independence. Their society continued to evolve in unique ways, blending indigenous and foreign influences. The migration period, from the 4th to the 6th century, brought significant changes to Scandinavia. This era was marked by large-scale movements of peoples across Europe. These migrations influenced Norse society, introducing new groups and cultural elements. The merging of different traditions enriched the Norse cultural tapestry. Political structures began to form, with chieftains gaining power. The period saw increased conflict and competition for resources. Fortifications and military alliances became more common. This era also witnessed the emergence of legendary figures and epic tales. These stories often celebrated the exploits of chieftains and warriors. The migration period set the stage for the more organized and expansive Viking Age. By the start of the Viking Age, around 800 CE, Norse society was well established. The term Viking refers to the seafaring warriors and traders from Scandinavia. They embarked on expeditions across Europe and beyond. These ventures were motivated by various factors, including trade, exploration, and the search for new lands. The Viking Age would last until about 1050 CE. The Vikings were renowned for their daring and adventurous spirit. Their voyages took them to distant shores, from the British Isles to the Mediterranean. Viking raids struck fear into the hearts of many European communities. However, they also engaged in peaceful trade and cultural exchange. The Viking Age was a period of both conflict and collaboration. Viking expeditions were enabled by advanced seafaring technology. The iconic longships were fast, agile, and capable of navigating both open seas and shallow rivers. These ships allowed Vikings to raid, trade, and settle far from their homelands. The construction and design of these vessels were a testament to Norse ingenuity. This maritime prowess was crucial to their expansion. Longships were also symbolic of Viking identity and power. They were often elaborately decorated, reflecting the wealth and status of their owners. The ability to travel long distances quickly gave the Vikings a strategic advantage. Their ships enabled surprise attacks and rapid retreats. This seafaring skill set the Vikings apart from other contemporary cultures. The Vikings were not only raiders, but also skilled traders and settlers. They established trade networks reaching from the Middle East to North America. Key trading centers like Birka in Sweden and Hedeby in Denmark flourished. Viking merchants traded goods such as furs, amber, and slaves. These interactions brought wealth and new cultural influences to Scandinavia. The Vikings also established colonies and settlements in various regions. They founded towns and integrated with local populations. Their presence in these areas often led to cultural blending and exchange. Viking traders were known for their adaptability and negotiation skills. They played a crucial role in the economic and cultural landscape of the medieval world. The social structure of Viking society was complex and hierarchical. At the top were the kings and chieftains, who wielded significant power and influence. Below them were the free farmers and warriors, known as carls. Thralls, or slaves, formed the lowest class and were often captured during raids. This stratified society was held together by a strong sense of community and loyalty. Social mobility was possible through acts of bravery and skill. Warriors could earn land and titles, elevating their status. The bonds of kinship and allegiance were central to social cohesion. Feasting and gift-giving reinforced these bonds. Honor and reputation were highly valued, influencing personal and communal behavior. Norse culture placed a high value on honor and reputation. This ethos was reflected in their legal systems and social customs. The concept of honor governed personal behavior and social interactions. Disputes were often resolved through assemblies known as things. These gatherings allowed free men to voice their opinions and seek justice. Things were not only judicial, but also legislative bodies. They provided a forum for discussing laws and policies. The process emphasized fairness and communal consensus. Punishments for crimes were designed to restore balance and honor. This legal framework helped maintain order and stability in Norse society. The role of women in Norse society was complex and multifaceted. Women had more rights and independence compared to many contemporary societies. They could own property, initiate divorce, and participate in commerce. Norse sagas and myths often featured strong female figures. However, societal roles were still largely patriarchal. Women managed households and were responsible for domestic tasks. They also played crucial roles in religious and cultural rituals. The concept of the shield maiden depicted women who took up arms. Though not common, these figures reflected the potential for female empowerment. The status of women varied depending on social class and region. The Norse, or Vikings, originated from the Scandinavian regions of modern-day Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. These early seafarers were known for their advanced shipbuilding skills, which enabled them to explore and raid distant lands. The harsh and challenging environment of Scandinavia shaped their resilient and adaptable nature. Their society was organized into a tribal system, with chieftains leading small communities. These tribes often engaged in both cooperation and conflict with each other. Living in such a demanding environment required ingenuity and resourcefulness, traits that became hallmarks of Norse culture. Their seafaring capabilities were not only for raiding but also for trading and establishing settlements across Europe. The Norse had a polytheistic belief system, worshipping a pantheon of gods like Odin, Thor, and Freya. These deities were central to their daily lives and were invoked during rituals and ceremonies. The Viking Age, spanning roughly from 793 to 1066 CE, marked the height of Norse exploration and influence. Mythological stories were passed down orally through generations. Skalds, or poets, played a crucial role in preserving these tales. The sagas, epic narratives of heroes and gods, were a key part of Norse literature. These stories not only entertained but also taught moral lessons and cultural values. The Eddas, written down in the 13th century, are primary sources of Norse mythology. The Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda contain many of these myths and legends. They provide insights into the beliefs, values, and traditions of the Norse people. These texts also highlight the importance of oral tradition in preserving cultural heritage. The stories often emphasize themes of bravery, loyalty, and fate. The sagas continue to be a valuable source of inspiration and fascination in modern times. The Norse also had a deep connection with nature and the supernatural. They believed in various spirits and entities inhabiting the natural world. This animistic belief system was reflected in their rituals and daily practices. Sacred sites, such as groves and springs, were revered as places of power. This spiritual connection to nature influenced their way of life. The land and sea were seen as living entities with their own spirits. Offerings and sacrifices were made to appease these spirits. The Norse also believed in fate, or Wird, which shaped their lives. This belief system helped them understand and cope with life's uncertainties. Their respect for nature and the supernatural was a defining feature of their culture. Viking raids began in earnest at the end of the 8th century. The attack on the Lindisfarne Monastery in 793 CE marked the start of the Viking Age. These raids were often swift and brutal, targeting coastal settlements and monasteries. The Vikings' reputation for ferocity spread quickly across Europe. However, they were also skilled navigators and diplomats. Viking raids were not just acts of violence, but also strategic military operations. They used their superior ships to strike quickly and escape before local forces could respond. These raids were motivated by a combination of economic gain, adventure, and the quest for honor. Over time, the Vikings established more permanent bases in the territories they raided. This phase of expansion significantly impacted European history. Norse explorers ventured far beyond their Scandinavian homelands. They established settlements in the British Isles, Iceland, Greenland, and even North America. The settlement of Iceland around 874 CE was a significant achievement. Greenland was settled by Eric the Red, and his son, Leif Erikson, reached Vinland, believed to be in present-day Canada. These explorations demonstrated their remarkable maritime skills. The discovery of new lands opened up opportunities for trade and settlement. Norse explorers brought back knowledge and goods from distant regions. Their travels also facilitated cultural exchanges with various peoples. The sagas recount many of these journeys, blending history and legend. These expeditions showcased the adventurous spirit and resilience of the Norse people. The Vikings also left a lasting impact on the regions they settled. In the British Isles, they founded the Danelaw, a region under Norse control. They integrated with local populations, influencing language, culture, and politics. The Norse legacy can still be seen in place names and archaeological sites. This blending of cultures enriched both Norse and local societies. The Vikings also introduced new technologies and agricultural practices. They built towns and infrastructure, contributing to the development of these regions. The integration of Norse and local customs created unique hybrid cultures. This process of cultural assimilation and adaptation was a hallmark of Norse expansion. Their impact on medieval Europe was profound and lasting. Trade was a crucial aspect of Viking life. Fostering cultural exchange, Viking traders established routes connecting Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Goods such as silver, spices, textiles, and ceramics were exchanged. This trade brought wealth and new cultural influences to Scandinavia. The Norse were adept at adapting to and integrating foreign customs. They were known for their skill in negotiating and forming alliances. Viking trading posts became hubs of economic activity. These interactions facilitated the flow of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices. The exchange of goods also led to the spread of Norse artifacts and styles. Trade played a significant role in the prosperity and cultural development of the Norse. The decline of the Viking Age began in the 11th century. Several factors contributed to this decline, including the consolidation of European kingdoms and the spread of Christianity. The conversion of Scandinavia to Christianity changed the cultural and religious landscape. Viking raids became less frequent as societies stabilized. By 1050 CE, the Viking Age had effectively ended. The rise of centralized monarchies in Europe made it more difficult for Vikings to raid. The establishment of fortified towns and stronger defenses also played a role. Additionally, internal conflicts and political changes within Scandinavia influenced this decline. The transition from paganism to Christianity marked a significant cultural shift. Despite the end of the Viking Age, Norse influence continued to shape European history. Christianity's spread in Scandinavia had profound effects on Norse society. Missionaries and converted kings played key roles in this transformation. Pagan temples were replaced with churches, and old rituals were adapted or abandoned. Christianization also brought new forms of writing and record-keeping. This period of transition was complex and sometimes contentious. The introduction of the Latin alphabet enabled the recording of Norse history and literature. Christian ethics and moral values began to permeate Norse society. However, many old beliefs and customs persisted alongside the new religion. The blending of Christian and pagan elements created a unique cultural synthesis. This era of transformation laid the groundwork for the medieval Scandinavian kingdoms. Despite the decline of Viking raids, Norse culture continued to evolve. The kingdoms of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden emerged as significant powers in Europe. These kingdoms maintained many aspects of their Norse heritage while integrating new influences. Norse mythology and folklore remained an important part of cultural identity. The legacy of the Vikings persisted in various forms. Medieval Scandinavian society was shaped by both its pagan past and Christian present. The royal courts patronized the arts, leading to a flourishing of literature and culture. Trade and exploration continued, albeit in different forms. The influence of Norse law and governance structures can be seen in these emerging kingdoms. The transition from the Viking Age to the medieval period was marked by continuity and change. The Norse left a rich legacy in literature, art, and architecture. The sagas and Eddas are invaluable sources of Norse history and mythology. Artistic expressions, such as intricate wood carvings and metalwork, demonstrate their craftsmanship. Norse architecture, including longhouses and staved churches, reflected their engineering skills. These cultural contributions continue to be celebrated today. The craftsmanship of Norse artisans was renowned for its detail and beauty. Viking art often featured intricate patterns and mythological themes. Longhouses were central to Norse community life, serving as homes and gathering places. Staved churches, with their unique wooden construction, are enduring symbols of Norse Christian synthesis. The legacy of Norse art and architecture remains influential in Scandinavian culture. Archaeological discoveries have greatly enhanced our understanding of Norse civilization. Sites like the Oseberg ship burial and the Gokstad ship provide insights into their burial practices and craftsmanship. Artifacts from these sites reveal details about daily life, social structure, and beliefs. Modern archaeological methods have uncovered new information about their settlements and trade networks. This ongoing research keeps the study of Norse civilization vibrant. Excavations at Viking sites have unearthed tools, weapons, and household items. These findings offer a glimpse into the everyday lives of the Norse people. Advanced techniques like DNA analysis and isotope studies provide new data on their origins and migrations. Each discovery adds a piece to the puzzle of Norse history. Archaeology continues to be a vital tool in uncovering the past. The Norse influence extended far beyond their Scandinavian homeland. They played a crucial role in the development of medieval Europe. Their interactions with other cultures fostered exchange and innovation. The Norse also influenced the development of maritime technology and navigation. Their legacy is evident in many aspects of modern Western culture. Viking exploration opened new trade routes and facilitated cultural exchanges. The spread of Norse technology, such as shipbuilding techniques, had a lasting impact. Norse legal and governance structures influenced European medieval law. Their mythology and literature inspired countless works of art and literature. The global influence of Norse civilization is a testament to their enduring legacy. Norse mythology and folklore continue to captivate people around the world. Popular culture often draws on these ancient stories for inspiration. Films, books, and video games frequently feature Norse gods and heroes. This modern fascination helps keep Norse traditions alive. The enduring appeal of their mythology speaks to its timeless nature. Norse gods like Thor and Loki have become cultural icons. Modern retellings and adaptations bring these ancient stories to new audiences. The themes of adventure, heroism, and fate resonate with contemporary readers. This ongoing interest in Norse mythology highlights its universal appeal. The legacy of Norse myths continues to enrich global culture. The study of Norse civilization offers valuable lessons for understanding history and culture. It highlights the importance of adaptability and innovation. The Norse were able to thrive in harsh environments through their resourcefulness. Their complex society and rich cultural heritage provide insights into human resilience. By studying their history, we can gain a deeper appreciation for our own. The Norse demonstrated the ability to balance tradition and change. Their experiences offer lessons on cultural exchange and integration. The study of their society helps us understand the dynamics of power, economy, and belief. The Norse legacy encourages us to explore and learn from the past. This historical perspective enriches our understanding of human civilization. In conclusion, the origins of Norse civilization are a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. From their early days as hunter-gatherers to their expansion across continents, the Norse left an indelible mark on history. Their contributions to trade, exploration, and culture continue to influence us today. By exploring their past, we gain a greater understanding of the forces that shape civilizations. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the origins of Norse civilization. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.